Hi, are you a control freak? No? Me neither. Here's the thing. I've had to learn a lot about control and what I'm able to let go of and what I would like to hold on to and what's mine and what's not. And I think that there is a strong Jewish view on this and I wanted to share it with you. So I brought with me some props. 3 cups. Let's do this. Cup number 1. This represents the part of you that already happened. It's your DNA. It's your personality. It's the things that make you tick. It's the things you like and don't like, your strengths and weaknesses, your family, your upbringing, your social surroundings in school. It's your choices that you made in the past. It's the knowledge you had in the past. It's everything that makes you who you are today. Put that right there. This is the next cup. This cup represents the world around you. This is who you interact with on a daily basis. This is your family, who you interact with, your in-laws, your friends, your colleagues. It's also the world, like the weather, sickness, or anything else that might be thrown your way. That's cup number 2. Okay? Here's cup number 3. Cup number 3 represents how you react to the world around you and how you react to your past. So for most of us, it looks like this: equal parts, who we are, what we have to deal with, and our decision-making abilities, right? What happens when we feel like our past decisions and the thing that makes us us, our DNA, and the people that we were given in life, what if we feel like those things overwhelm our point of choice? And what if we feel like, the weather and how our body is feeling that day and the people we're dealing with in that moment are overwhelming our point of choice too? Suddenly, our point of choice feels way smaller, more like the size of this little candle right here. So we have this little paradigm that feels really bad and is not healthy at all. But what about when we have a person who has come a long way in their growth and they are able to see that the things that make them them and their past decisions and all of that stuff is actually this size? And the people that they deal with on a daily basis and the long lines in the grocery store and the traffic and even the big things like the illness or the, God forbid, divorce or, God forbid, death, anything would also be this size. Big, big people I'm talking about, not you and me. Well, not me, maybe you. So then suddenly the paradigm becomes a little bit, the paradigm all of a sudden becomes like this, where our point of choice feels really big and our environment and what we were made of is much smaller. This is the ideal that we want to reach in Judaism. We want to come to a place where our point of choice in this moment is the biggest thing in our lives. And the stuff that makes us us and who we were given in life, that's almost like a virtual reality game. It's just the external circumstances that are going to help us figure out where our choice is, but it certainly doesn't determine what our choice is. Last night I got a phone call from a woman who I really look up to and admire, and she gave me feedback that I think a couple of years ago I would have struggled with more than I do today. She basically shared with me that she thought that a choice that I had made, may have been a grave mistake. And going forward, I should be aware of, not repeating such a thing. And I really appreciated the fact that she called me and I was so touched. I mean, who really cares about us? Don't look at your Facebook friends to answer this question. Who really cares about you? Who actually sits and listens when they ask you, how are you doing? And doesn't kind of stare off into space or wait for you to finish? Who actually is there for you when you need them? That's a short list for most people. And when someone actually takes the time to care, it's a big deal. So I was really touched by that, and it didn't put me on the defense. The other aspect, just so you know that I'm not superhuman, is that this person's, her emotional intelligence is kind of through the roof, and her level of insight is also through the roof. So, and also she's gotten, I think, from what I can tell, very good at giving feedback with love. So I think she's practiced in that. And to boot, she's only coming from a good place. there is nothing in it for her to share this with me. Like, the only thing is a downside, which is I could overreact or react negatively. So everything was set up for me to kind of like handle myself well, because so that in other words, the bar wasn't so high, but I was really happy that I wasn't humiliated by it, because when someone who you look up to calls you and says that you made a mistake in your judgment, that can be a humiliating experience if you are not humble. So I think that it's important that we humble ourselves to the fact that we make the best decisions we can in the moment with the information we have. When I made the decision that I made, that she called me about, I made that decision with every piece of information I had in front of me. I asked someone what they thought first, and who I looked up to, and I did some research and all this kind of thing, and I thought this is the best decision ever. And in the dawn of this person's feedback, I realized I made a mistake, but I didn't have that information before. An investor said to someone I know, this investor does incredibly well and is very wealthy, that he has lost a lot of money in investments, but he never beats himself up because of it. Why? Because he knows he made that judgment with all the information he had in front of him, and he's not going to judge himself for that. So I really think that this paradigm that, this is our point of choice and the other stuff is so small, it really helps us make the best choices that we can. And it gives us the humility that we need to make those powerful choices. So I wanted to share that inspiration with you. I feel inspired by it, and I hope you like. Bye.